Welcome to the second episode of Management Voice, Issue 2. Capability today is shaped as much by how we think as by what we know. For young people entering education, work, and public life, technology is no longer an external force to be learned and mastered. It is the environment within which decisions are made, opportunities emerge, and futures unfold. This episode brings together two articles that look at this reality from different angles. The first reframes what we mean by digital fluency. The second examines how artificial intelligence is reshaping the very nature of capability. Together, they ask a single question. How do we prepare young people to remain relevant in a world that will not stand still? Digital fluency and technological adaptability. Based on the article by Professor Dr. N. Sajikumar. When we talk about preparing young people for the future, the conversation often begins and ends with technology. But in his article, Professor Dr. N. Sajikumar invites us to pause and reconsider what digital fluency really means. It is not, he argues, about familiarity with tools. It is not about knowing the latest platforms, applications, or programming languages. True digital fluency, he suggests, is a way of thinking. We are living in an environment where technology is no longer something we occasionally use. It is the space within which decisions are made, work is organized, and knowledge is created. In such a world, adaptability becomes the defining capability. Dr. Sajikumar points out that the challenge is no longer access to information. That barrier has long been crossed. The challenge now is interpretation, judgment, and response. Young people must be able to learn quickly, unlearn outdated assumptions, and relearn continuously as tools, systems, and expectations evolve. Digital fluency in this sense is not passive competence. It is active engagement. It involves understanding how technology shapes behavior, how data influences decisions, and how automation changes the nature of work, without surrendering human responsibility in the process. Dr. Sajikumar is careful to emphasize that technology does not replace thinking. It amplifies it, and because of that, the ethical dimension becomes central. The ability to question, to evaluate consequences, and to act responsibly remains firmly human and increasingly important. Education systems, he suggests, must respond to this shift, not by racing to add more tools to the curriculum, but by cultivating adaptability, critical thinking, and digital awareness as foundational capacities. The goal is not to train young people for specific technologies, which will inevitably change, but to prepare them to navigate change itself. Digital fluency, Dr. Sajikumar reminds us, is not about keeping pace with technology. It is about staying relevant, responsible, and resilient in a world shaped by it. If digital fluency defines the mindset required to engage with technology, artificial intelligence raises a deeper question: how humans and machines will work together. Relevance of AI in building future capabilities in youth, based on the article by Mr. Amith Raman. Artificial intelligence has become one of the most discussed and most misunderstood forces shaping the future of work and learning. In his article, Mr. Amith Raman approaches this subject not through fear or hype, but through a question of readiness. He begins by pointing to a paradox that is particularly visible in regions with strong educational foundations. High levels of literacy and academic achievement coexist with growing uncertainty about employability and relevance. The challenge, he suggests, is not a lack of intelligence or effort, but a mismatch between how young people are prepared and the capabilities the future will demand. Artificial intelligence, in this context, is not the problem to be solved. It is the environment within which the problem must be understood. As AI systems increasingly take over routine, repetitive, and rule-based tasks, the nature of human contribution begins to shift. What gains value is not memorized knowledge, but judgment. Not repetition, but creativity. Not compliance, but adaptability. Mr. Raman draws a distinction between crystallized intelligence, the ability to apply what we already know, and fluid intelligence, the ability to learn, reason, and adapt in unfamiliar situations. In an AI-enabled world, it is this fluid intelligence that becomes decisive. The implication for education and skill development is significant. Preparing young people for the future is no longer about training them for specific roles or technologies that may soon become obsolete. It is about cultivating learning agility, the capacity to acquire new skills, reframe problems, and collaborate meaningfully with intelligent systems. Mr. Raman also emphasizes the importance of early and thoughtful exposure to AI, not to turn every student into a technologist, but to ensure comfort, familiarity, and responsible engagement with emerging tools. Fear, he suggests, thrives in unfamiliarity. Capability grows with understanding. At its core, the article makes a quiet but powerful argument. Artificial intelligence will continue to evolve. Jobs will change, tools will come and go. But the most future-proof capability young people can develop is the ability to keep learning, to stay curious, adaptable, and open to change. In an AI-shaped world, Mr. Raman reminds us, the question is not whether machines will become smarter. It is whether we are preparing young people to grow alongside them. Together, these two perspectives offer a clear message. Capability in a digital world is not about mastering technology. It is about developing the mindset, judgment, and adaptability to live and work with it. In the next episode, we turn from tools and systems to people, exploring the human foundations that make capability sustainable. You've been listening to Management Voice, the audio edition, brought to you by the Trisha Management Association.